Hello everyone. Today I have something to show you in Valheim. This is a tour of my world that I have put many hours into and took the time to build. This has not been built using mods, this has only been built using the console command menu within Steam. As you can see, we have a very filled boss sacrificial stones area. And for this seed, the spawn island is very small. So as you can see, we're on this little island that just has enough room for the stones. That's why we have this bridge to get across. It's a very nice bridge. And as you can see here, we have a very open area. Right here, this little cabin. This leads to a challenge I've built. I've put time into building a challenge, and when you get to the end, you're brought to Valhalla. I will not be showcasing that because I already know exactly what to do. There's a long path that you must follow to get to the portal courtyard. It's where all the portals are situated. And the portals take you to all the different things across this map that I've took time to build. It's been a very lengthy process and has taken around 5 months and about 150 hours of gameplay. These ideas have taken very long, and I'm still coming up with them. I will make an updated tour as soon as I get a bunch more builds. As you can see, we have our wolf here. Terry. Terry shall stay. Let him run around. We have a little land bridge here in between these stones, and they lead to the portal courtyard. As you can see over here, we have the portal courtyard over there. As you can see, we've got a portal right here. This portal does lead to something that I will showcase last because it's the most recent build in this world. Welcome to the portal courtyard. This portal here, it leads to this courtyard after you defeat the challenge in this world. Once you leave Valhalla and follow the trail that takes around 3 minutes, you get through there. Now first, I will take you to my personal farm I've built. This farm has varying details. We have a nice farmhouse here, which I will showcase after I show you the field. As you can see, we have bear traps to stop people from breaking onto the farm. We have a nice large field here with lots of crops, onions, carrots, and turnips. This process had taken quite a while, and I really enjoyed building this. Now inside the house, we have a very nice cozy space. We have some firewood over here in stacks, some armor stands to lay your armor on when you get here. We also have my casual clothing for home. When you come in, you have a little spot to sit down and just enjoy yourself, like a living room. When you come in, there's also a hot tub in which you can sit in and get a bath. You also have barber stations in which you can change your hair from. There are exclusive hairs to the barber station, just like the one I have. Up here is the kitchen table. where everybody will sit for dinner. There aren't normally guests here. These are my personal chests. And then this is the bedroom. More armor stands for 6 days a week, as I have one set of clothing down there, which I wear. On to the next area. Now we have the tavern. This is actually one of the first builds I made onto this server. These portals are not in order, as I just kind of lost track when moving them. I don't know why, but there are a lot of hens here going around the tavern. As you can see, in these cargo crates, we have a lot of minor eider mead. These fermenters are currently brewing different potions. Now this tavern is called the Too Much Mead Tavern. As you can see, there's too much mead. Over here, we have a bunch of different types of mead. All of our types, actually. Just showcased on the shelf. This is our cellar, Haldor. He serves out the mead, and he's the bartender at this tavern. It's a very nice place and has a fireplace over there. On to the next build. This is the workshop. If you don't like spoilers, cause you're early into the game, skip past this part, because this has everything you'll need in the game. Just a warning. This is the oven in which you bake bread and lox pie in. This is the cauldron area in which you would bake everything you need to, in which you would cook everything you need to cook in. As we got fully upgraded cauldron, which is exactly what we need. We have 2 fermenters for fermenting items. We have this spinning wheel here, which turns flax into linen. We have the blast furnace and the furnace over here, or called a smelter. This is the eider refinery, a Mistland's great item. You put the eider in here, and it comes down here. The reason this room is made of black marble is because eider is very dangerous, and once it is done going through the refinery, it shoots out, and it starts shooting green lasers, which is very dangerous. In here is the crafting room, the galder table, the forge, the stone cutter, the workbench, the black forge, and the artisan table. We have a lot of upgrades, and they did not all fit into this room, so some are outside and some are elevated. Now this workshop was built in a Stonehenge, which is the perfect spot, as the area is very dangerous. These are the obliterators. You throw an item in, you pull a lever, and it gives you 1 coal per every 10 items. This is the wisp fountain. It only works at night, and it spawns little wisps, which you need to make wisp light and wisp torches. These are the windmill, in which turns barley into barley flour, which you use to make bread and fish wraps. Now, as we'll go back to the portal, and we'll move on to the next build. This next build is one of my most recent builds called the Mist Castle. I built this very recently. Just check it out and see. It's a very comforting home, and most people would love to live in this. As you see, we spawn in, and we're in a circular shaped castle. This is my bed, and this is another bed, also mine. This is the bed area, and you go down to the first floor, and it's just a welcoming area. This place is in the Mistlands, which is the most recently developed biome, and you need a lot of wisp torches that are in the building to clear the mist so you're not in a completely foggy building. As you can see all this purple fog out here. This is the recreational area. We've got all the thrones at the dinner table, the hot tub, and just another table. A loaded Christmas tree, as there is room for 5 people here, and 9 if you use those chairs. That's it for the Mist Castle. On to the next build. This is the Troll Hole, an area that once had a massive hole with a troll inside. Ever since, it has flooded from the many storms, and trolls can no longer be suited. As you can see, this is the ranger office, and it's flooded. Lucky for Haldor, the ranger, he has an elevated area up on the wall to sit in. As you see, you're up to your waist in water when you go out here. This here is the troll hole. Many trolls used to get shown here once. They would be shown, they would do a trick, and then they'd be shipped back to the Black Forest. Right over there. There are multiple inns in the troll hole, in which people can stay. Multiple farms of raspberries and some other crops. We have wards here, as they are needed to stop people from vandalizing the area. And it also alerts you when trolls have broken something. Now this here is Arabia, also known as Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East. I've taken upon myself to build an Arabian village in the plains, very far off from the spawn island. We go in here, and this is the prince's house. As you can see, all of this armor, well, not even armor, all of these pieces of clothing, and this nice house with some blue torches. We have a fenced oak tree here, as oak trees are nice decoration to a village. These trophies is every mob in the game, as I've decided that they need to be shown. This is the Double Desert Diner, a nice diner in the Arabian village. They got some cooking spots, and overall, it's a calming place. We have a ward here, and we also have a spot showcasing the Yagluth location, the 5th boss in the game. This here is the barber shop. So old and so not advanced. They have grass going through the ground. It's basically a bunch of barber stands where everybody can do their hair, as hair is a common sense of fashion in this village. And that's the Arabian village. Moving on to the next build. Up next, we're skipping that one because that is just Hilder. Up next, we have the Mist Town. This town is a town covered in mist. Here, we have the Government Hall of Mistyville, a common fishing village. A nice village here, as you can see. Very common. Misty Town Fishing Government. Lumber chopping permits. Mayor office right here. This here is the old Mistyville government building. Not very advanced and very broken, as shown. It's not repaired, it's all broken, there's trees growing through because of the infected mist. We even have roots growing here, as well as Yggdrasil shoots. Now this here is the lumber mill, where they break all the Yggdrasil shoots. They have windmills to push away all the sawdust and to produce lumber. That's it for Mistyville. Up next, we have Lonely Isle. Lonely Isle is a far out swamp island in the middle of the sea, far away from anything else. A nice round castle with some spare clothing, a bar, and overall, a comforting atmosphere. We have bunk beds here. We have a Christmas tree and some places to sit down. A very depressing spot, but that's because it's so unknown. That's it for Lonely Isle. Only one build there. Maybe they'll expand. Up next, we have the temple. Far in the deep north, in the coldest part of the world. A little pyramid that was almost hard to support. Just filled with treasures, such as a fancy dinner, some fancy armor, or moreover, special armor. Far away from everything else. This place is so unknown, it's in an undeveloped area. No one's ever ventured to the deep north, because there's no point. The pyramid is a very dangerous place, as it could cave in at any moment, and all these treasures could be lost. But that is it for this place. On to the next area. Up next, we have the tower. A castle built up in the mountains. The faraway mountains. Nowhere near the portal core. High up, surrounded by plains, you have this big mountain with a massive castle known as the tower. We have the great feast here. We also have some more food over here if you want seconds. A Christmas tree, ovens, fermenters, but better, a nice recreational area. As this is the mountains, you'll need more complex clothing than troll armor. Wolves are a great example. Wolves may not have stronger skin than trolls, but their skin has lots of fur, which prevents you from freezing in the mountains. Therefore, you need wolf armor to get around. Also, the common drake. It'll pack a punch if you let it. And you've got whisk fountains, a mistletoe, and a little window looking out over the world. You also have a bed, because everybody needs a bed. When you live in this big of a tower, up high in the mountains, you're going to need somewhere to sleep. And it's very hard to get somewhere. And it takes lots of energy just to go next door. Now on to the next build. Up next, we have the Temple of Ash. Very far away. Far, far away. In a very red, dangerous, and hot area. We have the Temple of Ash. At the end of the world, we have it. I'm sure I could walk to the sea in just a little bit. This area is too dangerous for anything. Surtlings everywhere. Surtlings, a very dangerous monster, who are completely made of fire and will burn you to a crisp in just one little spark. But here we are, the edge of the land. I'm surprised water can even work out here. You think it'd all evaporate. But here we are, at the edge. We're looking at nothing. Dead space. In very dangerous lands. The only thing here is surtlings, grass, and meteors. It's best not to stay here. But if you're going to make a base, don't make it out of wood. Now let's go to the next build. Up next, we have the Mountain Rest. A simple little hut found using modern building blocks known as core wood logs. A very common hut. It's very tiny, but very effective. A little bed, an iron fire pit, and a wreath. This place is just made for the coldest nights in the mountains after getting back. That's it for the Mountain Rest. On to the next build. Up next, we have the second last build to showcase today, the Coop. Coop is a very nice place. It's a nice little farm far off on a little meadows island. Here it is, the Coop. Now as you can see, you spawn in a chicken cage. Why is that? Because this place is all chickens. Chickens in every 2x2 area. It's just all chickens. Chickens, chickens, chickens galore. Chicken there, chicken here. If you go upstairs, however, It's a nice little living area with one chicken. And more chickens that are sitting on eggs. As you can see, they're in chicken crates. Hence the portal. That's it for this build. Moving on to the next one. This is the last build inside of the portal courtyard. But we have two builds that weren't made today, but yesterday. It took a very long time, and both those builds totaled around 4 hours. Now here we have the treasure chest with weird items that don't actually exist in the game. Like the cheat sledge. You can't get that in normal Valheim. The iron shield. A broken shield. That isn't even actually a real shield. The Durnwin. A flaming sword. Great in combat as it inflicts fire damage on enemies. Great for Grade Wars. The cheat sword. It'll one-shot anything with one slash. No problem, is it? The Night Shield unused. A very fashionable shield. Very cool. Should have been used in the game. But they just decided against it. It was almost like a test for shields. But it wasn't brought into the game. And they scrapped it. Now we're on to the outside of the portal courtyard, where we have the cabin. Very hard to get into the portal. I must fix that. Here we are in our second last build of the day. This build here, on the edge of a mountain, is shaped like the White House. If you don't know what that is the house where the President of the United States lives. Fun fact. Inside is this beautiful cabin with a big feast. Chicken, blood pudding, black soup, mixed hair supreme. You name it. Any food in a bowl or on a plate, it's served. Here we have a little sitting area with a Christmas tree. How nice. Some thrones. Just overall, a nice comforting place where you can look out over the mountain. It's very snowy in there. And over here is the cooking area with all these mushrooms and natural ingredients. Some of these do not exist, like the blue mushroom. Only in the dev command menu, if you're wondering why you can't get it in your survival Valheim world. Up here is the bedroom with chair, table, and another Christmas tree. Also, a cartography table with this whole massive world, which is honestly perfect. This here leads to the last build of the day, the second cabin. Here we are. And if you look out over this area, if it was clear, you could see the other build right down there. Inside, we have another nice, luxurious cabin with a feast, a table to sit, and a nice round room with a Christmas tree inside. We have a nice area here where you walk in and it's all carpeted. And overall, this place is very nice. And this here is the end of Ethelan's continent. I'd like to thank all of you for watching, for who did. And I just want to say, this build took so many hours. I've got so many sessions in this world. It's unbelievable. And this whole area I'm walking through now, past the portal courtyard, is crazy because it's all just clear and it has these big rocks. But this area used to be a nice forest where the boar could roam free and there would be no opposing threats. But now, anything could happen. As we walk through this path back to the mist, I'd like to say, this world has been great to build, and this is the last time I play Ethelan's continent. Just want to thank all of you again. And if you could, please subscribe to the channel, as it supports me a lot. And then I can grow and I can build more things like this. We get to the end here, and I can see the bridge poking through. Getting to the end. This is the end. It's the last time. By the way, the second public server video will be available to watch in 3 days. I'll be logging back onto the public server and expanding that base and retaking a look at that house with a different character as I need to. This is it for Ethelan's continent. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.